Welcome to Dear Dilemma, where you send in your dilemmas and we answer them. Do you need an outside perspective?
Advice anonymously?
We're here to help. I'm Brooke.
And I'm Hannah.
And this is
Dear Dilemma.
Today's episode is brought to you by Urban Beauty.
Urban Beauty offers spray tans, body waxing, professional makeup, brow services, and lashes. Make sure to follow them on Instagram. Their link is provided in the description below.
After today's video, one lucky winner will win half off. That's right, you heard me. Half off a full set of lashes by the most talented Taylor McNutt. In order to win today's giveaway, you must be following Urban Beauty on Instagram. And you must also like, comment, or subscribe to our YouTube channel today.
Hopefully you'll win. May the odds be ever in your favor.
Hi, and welcome back to Dear Dilemma. On this week's episode, we're going to continue with a couple more of your submissions that you have written in. And just a reminder, any submission that is sent in for your dilemma is 100% anonymous. We don't even know who it's coming from. The website does not let us know. And I hope that just makes you feel more comfortable of letting us know your dilemma so that we can help you. All right, Hannah, what do we have for this week?
Okay. I want to homeschool our daughter for many reasons, but my husband is against it because his ex-wife was homeschooled.
Okay.
He thinks she's an idiot and odd because of the homeschooling.
Okay. Well,
Just funny.
I think that was like a joke growing up. I don't know how it is now because actually now it's a lot different. A lot of people do want to homeschool their kids. I don't even have kids yet. And I've even, like, if I ever said I did have kids, probably might homeschool just because it is so scary now. But back then, like, the homeschool kids, unfortunately, were made fun of because some of them were just a little different.
Well, I think homeschooling back then was a lot different.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Times have changed. Resources.
Yeah.
So, I actually have a child, and I have seriously considered homeschooling. Yeah. And I obviously agree with you. There's many reasons. Like, I'm going to bring up some kind of hot topics, so I apologize in advance, but our kids are being subjected to a lot of information and things that maybe we don't agree with.
Okay, yeah.
So there's a lot of that going on in schools. There's also, of course, school shootings. Mm-hmm. And it's not just even happening.
So fearing for their safety?
Yeah, fearing for their safety. Absolutely. It's not just high schools. It's, colleges. It's middle school. It's elementary.
It's anywhere.
It's
Walmart. It's Target.
Daycares.
Yeah. It's at the park. I mean, it's everywhere. I think, I think homeschooling is, tell your husband this, homeschooling is 100% different than what it was when his ex-wife. And also, what did he say about her?
He thinks she's an idiot.
Okay, well, she wasn't an idiot when he married her. So,
yeah.
Tell your husband that. Secondly, homeschooling is a lot different now. And if he's worried that your kid's going to turn into, doesn't want to talk to anyone and shy, there's options. There's options of putting your kids in sports or activities or events or clubs that accept. You don't have to just they
even have homeschool basketball teams and
well, I thought some schools even allow those who are homeschooled to try out for their local. Some, not all, but I think I've heard that before too. So there are options. Like, your kid's not going to turn out to be a weirdo because you kept them home and safe, and you are financially able to keep them homeschooled. And as a reminder to your husband, during COVID shutdown, what did kids do? They all were doing e-learning. Yeah, they were all technically being homeschooled. So, tell your husband, they're going to be fine.
Obviously, you guys have to make that decision 100%. Together as a married couple. I'm wondering if he just has a tainted view of homeschooling because of his ex-wife. And I'm assuming that's true. Pretty much all that it is at this point. Because if you're giving him all these facts about why homeschooling is important to you and that you think it's a good idea and it's ultimately going to benefit the child the most, that's what's important, is the child.
Yeah. And he needs to put the ex-wife situation to the side of, this has...
I think it's clouding.
Yeah.
What's going on there.
But let's pull her situation away from this and let's look at our child and the benefit, pros and cons. Write down a list with them, pros and cons.
Actually, that's
why.
A great idea.
Sit down at the table and say, all right, let's figure this out. And whatever you have the most of, you guys can counteract and figure out on that end as well. But yeah, there's multiple. It's so different than back then.
Yeah. And I think there's so many more resources for homeschooling. Like there's a lot of different programs. There's co-ops. There's a lot of even churches, I think, that offer like some homeschooling with multiple other children at the same time. So it's still homeschooling, but it's more in that social aspect of things.
And your kid could benefit a ton from being homeschooled because they could knock out, depending on schedule, they can knock out everything by a certain time. And they get, like, I've seen on social media families that homeschool their 5 kids or whatever it may be, and they're traveling the world. Their kids are learning so much more and getting hands-on real life experiences that we would just be reading in a history book stuck in a room for an hour and 15 minutes. So there's a lot of benefits with homeschooling, especially now. And a lot of it too has to be depending on the parent schedule and if they can make it work and financially. But they're like, wouldn't you? And you get to spend more time with your kid. Most parents only get 2 to 3 hours after work, after sports, after school, after all of that to actually like be with your kids. So there's a lot of benefits to that as well.
I think if you can do it, I say go girl, because I think that there is so much as far as the autonomy for the child. They're not being forced into sitting in a classroom all day when they really shouldn't be. They should be learning. There's so many more benefits to being out in nature. It's actually linked to decreased risk of depression and mental disorders.
Let me tell you, I walked all this summer outside after work, and it helped a ton, and I'm hoping to continue that into winter because I did notice a huge mental health move. I looked forward to them. So, yeah, I think a ton of benefits.
I also think one option that she could have would be to sit down, write the pros and cons list, because I think that's really good.
Together, not just you doing it. He needs to be present so you can truly both discuss this on a serious level.
Hopefully he's open to that. At least coming to the table, talking about it, sitting down, writing those pros and cons lists. And then I would also suggest maybe telling him, okay, can we just try this for a year? Let me just try homeschooling for 1 year. If you don't like how it's going after that year, we can re-enroll into schooling, or maybe look into some private schools or, whatever else you have available in your area that might be a better option than public schooling if that's some of the issues that you're having.
It's honestly kind of like a trial and error.
Yeah.
So, you're going to have your pros and cons, but it is a trial period. I like that, where that way they're only taken out for a year. They're not missing a ton of stuff. And they may already have friends. I'm not sure what age your child is, but for example, let's say if they're elementary, middle school, like they already have friends that they're going to keep in contact with. And then you can also find out locally what clubs there are to keep them in, sports. The school might let you keep them because they're in their school district, even though they're homeschooled. Like there's a ton of options. So
there is. And you might actually decide that you don't like it.
So
you could definitely just try it out and see if it's what you expect it to be, and if it gives you and your family the benefits that you're wanting out of it, and then reassess and just say, okay, maybe it's not working. Let's go back to school, or maybe it is working. Let's go travel the world.
And any viewers that have personally experienced homeschooling their kids, or they know someone, or they've been homeschooled, drop a comment and let's hear your stories of your what were the benefits and the negatives, or what your pros and cons were, and that can help answer her question as well, of those who have truly been homeschooled or in that situation. So
absolutely, because again, this is going back to Brooke and I really trying to build a community and just other people that have gone through similar situations in order to provide some resources and just maybe some little tidbits on how to get through some of these.
So drop your comments for those watching, and best of luck for you and your husband figuring that out. And
I hope things work out. I hope you get to try it out.
Let Hannah know so she can plan.
If I had the option to, I definitely would homeschool. I am going to find another submission here. So this one says, I have a hard time making and keeping friends as an adult. A lot of friends have kids and their own lives. I back out of plans a lot because of my own health. How to make friends as an adult. Okay. So he or she is wanting to know how to make friends.
Okay. I'd also do that. Well, for example, Hannah has a child. I do not. She is married. I'm engaged, so we're not like in that
we're not in the same
era
life time frame.
I would say alignment time frame.
Alignment, yeah.
Yeah, but as we said, I don't know if you go back and watch our first video of but it took us 5 years to get to this point, and it took us a long time to hang out because our schedules conflicted a lot. So if you do have like at least one person, definitely find a time that works, even if it's like once a month or twice a month that you can get out with your friend. I do think, I'm just an outgoing person. I can talk to anybody, so making friends is a lot easier for me. Majority of my friends come from previous jobs I've had.
Yeah, I was gonna say
they're kind of better friendships. Mine's ours.
Yeah,
like instead of high school and college and all of that. And what do you think? I mean,
I also think it would be good. So I struggle with this a lot too because
I'm worse in the winter.
Probably a lot of people. What did you say?
I'm worse in the winter when the mental health kicks in. Of it's depression. Yeah. It's dark. I will say that I do cancel a lot of plans in the winter time.
Well, you and I both. Yeah. Actually, one of the reasons why we started this channel, I mean, in all seriousness, Brooke and I really struggle with just being really bad homebodies, especially in the winter. Yeah. And both, I think, probably have a little bit of seasonal depression if we're being
I work from home. It's hard to, like, in the wintertime, I work, clock off, go straight to the bed in the winter. Like, it's hard for me to, my fiance is like, okay, come on, like, let's just ride with me to the gas station. Yeah, open the blinds. I'm like, ah! So I can see how making friends is, like you said, your health is involved too with that.
I don't know what kind of health issues are there. It wasn't specified. I would wonder if it was more like that kind of thing, or if it's actually physical health where she can't go out and about and move very well. But I do think that getting involved, and even you could get involved in an online community too.
Oh yeah.
My husband is a gamer. Like, he has friends online doing that. And he actually plays with some other like females too that, you know, they all chit chat and they're close with each other.
So
online.
Doesn't mean you have
I think your fiance does that too.
They get on there, and they game a lot too. I think as well, not sure if you attend church or anything, but getting into a group within your church or, like you said, a community where you can meet. I started playing pickleball this year, and I was, as an outgoing person, this is shocking, but I was terrified to go by myself. Like, I always wanted to have a friend go with me that played, but then our schedules all got crazy, and I didn't know a lot of them anyways, but I was terrified to go down on a Saturday morning and play with, I call them the pros, but everyone's like, oh, the old people. And I'm like, yeah, well, they kick people's butts. And I finally just did it. And now I've met so many other adults down there that I can like text and like, hey, let's play Saturday, or looking forward to doing league or whatever it may be. And that has been really nice to get out of my comfort zone. And we're nowhere near the same age. I'm just saying, like, it ranges of 20, 30, 40 plus years, my senior. So I think you definitely have to get out of your comfort zone a little bit. And
it's hard. That's hard.
That is hard. To join something. There's bingo. I know a lot of towns have bingo. I know that's not like you go by yourself. But again, like I said, might have to get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah. And depending on what health concerns there are, if it's not physical, you know, even just going to, like, okay, I'm going to go to a yoga class once a month. I'm just going to make that a set date in my schedule, or, you know, whatever class it might be. Maybe a pottery class or a painting class, or just finding, I know locally ours does that, in the community.
But again, it's one of those things where you may have to go by yourself unless you do have a friend that will go with you, or a family member. But it may take a little bit. You got to kind of give and take on this too. And I've learned that as well. Like, get out of your comfort zone a little bit, but you're going to be rewarded with meeting people that may be in the same boat as you, or just wanted to meet new people in their community. And
and it's also hard to so a lot of people watching would probably be shocked for me to say this, but I am a true introvert. I act very extroverted. I have to be extroverted in the line of work that I do. And I am not, I think they say the difference between being extroverted or introverted is whether or not you feel excited and refueled after spending time with other people.
Mm-hmm.
And so by the time I get off work, or if I go out and have like a good time with friends, I'm the person that's like, oh, thank God I'm home.
You got to almost decompress.
Yeah, because I'm
say,
like exhausted at the end.
I would say I'm an extrovert during the summer because it's nice out and I love being in the sun. 75 and up is my
I don't think there's
my
a word
cup of
for
tea
you because you are like total opposites.
Wintertime, I'm a turtle. I'm in my shell. Don't talk to me. Don't call me. But that's where I need to work on it too. So I'm right there with you. And I also am at that point where I want to meet people that I don't know. So I think joining the pickleball league this year and getting out and trying something new really helped me get out of my comfort zone. And also, if anyone has reached out to you and they've tried to communicate and you're just kind of scared to respond back, like, respond, because that could be a sort of a friendship that you didn't know that you needed or you didn't expect to happen. You may be like, oh, I don't really know if I want to talk to them. Like, they're reaching out for a reason too. So
yeah, I think it goes both sides of it. So yes, it's very difficult, I think, to make friends as an adult, especially if maybe you don't have children, because a lot of times if you have children, you kind of have that commonality where your kids are going to the same soccer practice or whatever it is. But you have to get involved, but then you have to open yourself up to potentially getting hurt by giving back, and also being maybe the first one to reach out, which is really hard. A lot of people struggle with that, but you can't just always expect other people to reach out all the time.
I found out recently, just being positive and leaving a simple comment or messaging someone that might be on my mind or a friend or whatever, and just saying like, I hope you have a good day, like random things. I'll send it to like my friend and she's like, oh my gosh, like, thank you so much. Like, we got to get together. And it's almost that reminder too of doing it, but got it. So here's our advice. Locally, try to join some different clubs or events that you may have going on. Yes, you may have to go by yourself, but that is another thing I was going to say. You got to get out of your comfort zone. And that is a way to meet people. And then,
or if you have the health concerns physically that's
online,
keeping you from getting, reach out to online
communities. And because this is a situation, I think as adults we're going to definitely have to give and take to meet friends. And unfortunately that's just how it is we're not kids and we're all not buddy and we are best friends. Like, we are going to have to get out there and make some effort too. So not everyone's going to come to you. You're going to have to put the effort into it as well, but we definitely wish you luck, and you have us.
Yes.
So you have us.
We can be virtual friends. And not everybody is going to be like a lifelong friend either. I think there's also people that just serve purposes in your life for a reason.
I heard they're in your life for a season for a reason.
Yes, I love that. So. Same with boyfriends too.
Yeah. They're in your life for a season, but they also, there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
So,
and even looking at you and I, okay, so we were inseparable. And then we had, 10 years that we barely talked. But it wasn't like we ever fell off, had anything that happened. It was just that we, lost connection. We never really talked.
Back then, we didn't have phones, kids.
Yeah.
We had to, write letters and mail them in the mail. Okay.
AOL and
AIM. We did have AIM. Why didn't we talk about AIM?
That is so funny. Okay,
we didn't talk about, we never talked. But anyways, and now here we are too. So, you definitely
you can
have
always
solutions.
Reconnect, I guess
with
point of the
friends.
Story was you could reconnect with old friends potentially too, and maybe you guys would have more of that bond. So hopefully you can find some
good
friends.
luck, and if you're ever feeling down, please send us a message, an email, or a DM. And we never ever want anyone to feel alone, because
life is hard.
Yeah,
and friends are hard. It's hard to.
That's why we're doing this. Yeah, giving you some advice for your dilemmas, but we wish you the best of luck.
Yes. And also, if anybody else has any other suggestions, definitely reach out and comment, because that is one that actually I think maybe you do too a little bit, struggle with making friends.
Yeah. All right. Well,
see you next week.
See you next week.
Thank you for watching this week's episode of Dear Dilemma. We hope you enjoyed. Make sure to tune in every Tuesday and Thursday as we will drop new episodes weekly.